Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We acknowledge that this land carries the stories, traditions, and memories of the Kickapoo, Peoria, Potawatomi, Miami, and Sioux people, traditional custodians on the land of which we meet. We pay our respects to their elders as well as current and future generations. Now, please welcome Reverend Darren Polito of One Spirit Learning Alliance, Reverend Kathy Bressler of Altar Community, Rabbi Rena Singer of Temple Shalom, Father John Fontana, a Catholic priest from Assumption Church, and priest Acharya Ramnaresh Vajpayee from Hari Om Mandir for an interfaith blessing. Please welcome them.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Wonderful. Let us recognize, honor, and share in gratitude this opportunity for bringing together multiple faiths in celebration of the opening of the Salesforce Tower. It is so essential and vital, especially now, that we come together recognizing our shared humanity. As the name of this floor, Ohana, signifies, we are one. So through our gratitude, let us bless this space and this tower. First, giving thanks to all the myriad people who had a part in bringing this tower to reality. Most especially, we offer our thanks to this precious earth for not just all the resources that created this building, but for everything we need to live and flourish. And above all, for absolutely everything, our most humble gratitude to the great mystery, the Creator, the one Spirit, which imbues and gives all life. And so, in gratitude, we bless this space.
For me, poetry has always been the most resonant language of prayer. So today, as a blessing for this auspicious occasion, I want to share one of my favorite prayer poems by Chicago-born artist and women's rights activist Judy Chicago. At this time when division and fear and conflict seem so intractable, may this building and all who enter and work here uplift the promise of our shared humanity to create a more harmonious, just, and loving future. The poem is called Praying for Us Then and Them Right Now. And then all of what has divided us will merge. And then compassion will be wedded to power. And then softness will come to a world that is often harsh and unkind. And then both women and men will be gentle. And then both men and women will be strong. And then no other person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and varied. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again.
So there's a Jewish tradition that being in a new space is good luck. And it's good luck because when you're in a new space, you can see things differently. You can see problems differently. You can see the world differently. And so as we walk around this incredible new space this morning and look out at this beautiful and very cold city, I will invite each of us to contemplate something in our lives in a new and slightly different light. And I wanted to share a quick Jewish blessing for being in a new space for the first time. It goes, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, source of meaning in the universe. Shehechianu, who brings us life. May this be a place of liveliness, of creativity, of connection. V'kiyamanu, who sustains us. May this be a place of security and sustenance. V'higianu lazman hazeh, who brings us to this unique and beautiful time. In this week leading up to the holiday of Hanukkah, may we find light in the darkness, and may we seek hope. Amen.
How good it is when sisters and brothers gather in unity, whether in places of worship and in the global marketplace. Because of you, O Holy One beyond all names, this sacred place is already and will be blessed by the very presence of the persons who are in it, created by you, richly diverse yet longing for unity, which reflects your compassionate heart in an often disconnected world. As the river below begins its flow in multiple directions, may all who converge in this family space then reach out with an awareness of how much all people desire the caring relationships we're privileged to have in our communities. May the rather bright light of the Salesforce sign remind us of that inner light that you have given us to brighten others' lives. And may those who will look down from this height also be moved to look up to others with kindness, and to you, divine source of the love that reconciles and unifies people and all of the creatures on earth. We ask this blessing of you, our God, with trust in your love and in a spirit of ever-deepening hope.
जय श्री कृष्णा ब्रदर एंड सिस्टर, इस कंपनी के मांगलिक उत्सव के लिए हम भगवान से यही प्रेयर करेंगे कि इस कंपनी के अंदर जितने लोग वर्क कर रहे हैं उन सबका स्वास्थ्य ठीक रहे, सबके परिवार में मांगलिक रहे, सब स्वस्थ रहते हुए कंपनी की उन्नति के लिए अपना पूर्ण रूप से योगदान ऐसे दें कि अगली साल ये कंपनी हम सबको फिर से बुलाए इसी मांगलिक उत्सव को मनाने के लिए। तो हम भगवान से प्रेयर करते हुए अपने बहुत ही वेदों के मंत्रों का उच्चारण करते हैं। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुणध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षा मंगलायतनो हरिः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मां कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ये हमारे पावरफुल मंत्र हैं। इन मंत्रों से हमने ब्लेसिंग दी है कंपनी के उत्थान के लिए, प्रोग्रेस के लिए, और सारे कंपनी के साथ जितने लोग जुड़े हैं इन सब के परिवारों की मांगलिक कामना और स्वस्थ रहते हुए कंपनी के उत्थान के लिए इसी तरह अपना योगदान देते रहें। जय श्री कृष्णा, जय श्री कृष्णा।
Thank you so much. Now, please welcome Salesforce Executive Vice President of Professional Services Americas, Christina Midas.
Hello. So first and foremost, let's see if you guys can hear me okay. Welcome to Salesforce Tower, Chicago. As the voice of goddess mentioned, my name is Christina Midas. I run our professional services organization for Salesforce, but what's even more interesting is that I am a Chicago resident. I live in Lincoln Park. This is where I call home. I've worked for Salesforce for 13 and a half years. So it's not only the convergence of the North and South River, it's the convergence of my life that's happening here today. So I look in the room, there's so many friends and so many community members that helped us get here. It's a little surreal for me. When I joined, we had no office, and now we have the office. So quite the run. But I think it's really important for everyone to understand this is not just an office for Salesforce. This is an office for the entire Chicago community. And when I was at dinner last night, Relena and I were with a wonderful customer of ours. She's in the room. And we were talking about how Salesforce is more than just a tech company. And I feel comfortable sharing this because it came from a customer, that we are a values-driven organization, and one of the few values-driven organizations. And so when you take that and place that in an organization like Chicago, which I feel, thank you, Mayor Johnson, is full of values, hardworking, inclusive, community, shared space, how could we possibly go wrong by building an Ohana environment anywhere else? So thank you so much for joining us today. This is a dream of a lifetime for me. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Sebastian Niles, our President and Chief Legal Officer, to share a bit more. Sebastian?
No, thank you, Christina. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here with all of you. I had a couple thoughts that I thought I would share with everyone. Look, Salesforce Tower Chicago is a representation. It's a representation of many items, but it's in particular a representation of our commitment, our long-term commitment here at Salesforce to Chicago and to our customers, our partners, our employees, and the communities here. The Salesforce story in Chicago, and I would submit, like the story of Chicago itself, is, we're humbled to say, one of success, innovation, and growth. Chicago has a deserved reputation as a hotspot for top talent, a diverse economy, a robust infrastructure, supporting businesses from every industry, and supporting communities from all walks of life. Our teams here do work with really brilliant regional businesses like Grubhub, the University of Chicago Medical Center, Casey's Pizza. I could go on and on, which are all deeply rooted, I think, in the city's fabric and, again, the fabric of all the communities that come together here in Chicago to grow, to live, to play, to love, and just drive, I think, really our country forward. Look, in an increasingly digitized world, we here at Salesforce are privileged to really be trusted advisors, helping our customers connect to their customers in new and engaging ways. And again, our customers, yes, private sector, but also many nonprofits, right? Foundations, public sector, and the like. Today, we certainly find that companies and organizations of all sizes and kinds are relying more and more on AI, on data, and on trust to power their businesses and drive the connectivity that we all need. We have a vibrant and diverse talent pool of nearly 2,200 employees right here in Chicago who are all focused on delivering success to our customers and for Salesforce, and to doing so in a values-driven, trust-first way. We have always been guided by our values. Giving back was a foundational part of our culture and remains a very core, central part of our culture. Over the past decade, as Salesforce has been privileged to grow here in Chicago, we've been proud to give back to this amazing community that has given and continues to give so much to us. Again, we are honored and privileged to be here with all of you. Through our 1-1-1 philanthropic model that, happy to discuss what that means exactly, if anyone is interested, but Salesforce has contributed $16 million in grants to local nonprofits here. Our local employees have donated nearly 270,000 volunteer hours to this incredibly important community. I'll take us back a few years. In 2018, we made a public commitment here at Salesforce that by 2023, we would add 1,000 jobs here in Chicago. We met that commitment a year ahead of schedule. Thank you to everyone who made that possible. And today, this may be a surprise to some of you, not fully sure. Today, we're really proud to announce an additional $1.25 million in grants to help support Chicago and Illinois communities. These funds will go to two organizations, Castle and Peer Health Exchange, focused on delivering emotional learning and mental health support for students from pre-K through high school right here in Chicago. As we all sort of look around here, one of the most unique aspects of this building is where we're standing today and sitting today, our Ohana floor. I think as my colleagues noted, instead of dedicating the top floor of this tower for executive offices, we're taking an innovative approach, offering these floors as flexible hospitality spaces for the community. And of course, during the day, they're open to employees to visit, to work, to welcome guests. And on weeknights and weekends, we're really excited that we're going to make sure this floor is available to local nonprofits, for their work. Maybe they'll be hosting their own sort of fundraising events, and the like, at no cost. To date, thank you. Our Ohana floors are very important to the culture and our way of giving back. To date, our Ohana floors around the world have helped raise more than $108 million for our local communities in which we have the privilege to operate. We're excited to do even more good in the community by opening the doors of Salesforce Tower Chicago to all our stakeholders. Thank you again for being here to celebrate this milestone with us. And now I know you don't want to hear from me anymore. There's a very, very special leader here today. I'd love to introduce Mayor Brandon Johnson. Mayor Johnson, I think many of you know, began his career teaching. Such an important and powerful role to be a teacher. Began his career teaching at Jenner Academy, in Cabrini Green, then further at Westinghouse College Prep. Later became an organizer with the Chicago Teachers Union. 2018, I believe it was, you were elected commissioner, right, of the 1st District of Cook County. He led many efforts to pass really important initiatives, one of which was the Just Housing Ordinance, prohibiting housing discrimination against formerly incarcerated people. In May of this year, he became Chicago's 57th mayor. And without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mayor Johnson.
Wow, thank you so much, Sebastian, for that introduction. It's amazing how your life can just be read in a couple of minutes. So it's very humbling. So with these last 30 seconds that I have left, I'm grateful, though, to be just in this remarkable space. So let me just, first acknowledge that we're celebrating something that is, I think, quite profound. The opportunity for our collective approach towards economic development and creating a greater space for industry can be tied to your value system. It's not a pipe dream to believe that that type of structure can exist. And as we celebrate Salesforce Tower today, it's living proof and evident that that structure exists. And thank you for making sure that we acknowledge the land that we're on and centering our values connected to our faith. Some of you may not know this, but my father pastored for several years, also working multiple jobs to create an opportunity for me and my siblings, all 10 of us, to experience the best of who we can be. And there were times where my father would deliver sermons on Sunday mornings, and we did not have Sunday dinner in our home. And that the possibility of someone who grew up working class and low income could find its way to the 57th floor during this remarkable moment where we are bringing our values together is true testament that this is truly the greatest freaking city in the world, the city of Chicago. So we are also joined by the Alderman of the 42nd Ward, Alderman Riley. Thank you for being here and thank you for your leadership. You may applaud. Thank you. Michael Fosnock is here. Thank you for your leadership of World Business Chicago. My Deputy Mayor for Economic Neighborhood Development, also a West Sider. Deputy Mayor Kenya Merritt is here. Could you all please appear? Look, I'll just get to it. Congratulations. This new tower, the latest and greatest addition to our skyline, is not only a symbol of your commitment to Chicago, but your achievements as a company. As mayor, I'm thrilled to see any company thrive in our great city, and particularly one that is very much mission-driven. I'm especially happy to see Salesforce Chicago team give back to our communities in so many incredible ways. The $16 million that have been issued in grants and 270,000 employee volunteer hours, what an incredible testament to the soul of Chicago. It's that type of spirit, it's that type of commitment that allows us to bring our communities together. And I'm thrilled that the announcement of the $1.25 million that's going to go to Castle and Peer Health Exchange, delivering mental health services and support for young people. I've shared this story before. My oldest brother, who had an addiction, died unhoused and had trauma that was untreated. And during the pandemic, my daughter, she's 9 years old, when we were sheltering in space, we got to know each other more, I'll say it like that. And there was one moment in a conversation where my daughter and we were having this exchange back and forth, which also demonstrates my failures as a parent, the fact that I'm having an argument with a 7-year-old. But the argument ended because my daughter looked at me and she said, "Daddy, you are triggering me." And I thought, I know, my mouth dropped too as well, because there's just a certain sort of decorum, especially with black parents. You don't talk to me like that, little girl. I don't care who you are. But I thought about how powerful it was for her to feel confident to use language, to say, look, this doesn't feel right. The uncle that she never met, my older brother, I wonder if his life would have been different had he had that language. And what you all are doing, you're giving hope to communities across the city who need the mental health support, so that they can develop the language so that we can heal. And so thank you to you for understanding that. And then, of course, the Ohana room. You know, a room in the floor rather, that brings people together, a shared space. That's exactly what community is all about. As a former community organizer myself, I can attest to you the importance of having gathering spaces. You know, once upon a time, my organizing led to blocking elevators at City Hall because we were so frustrated with the policies. And now those elevators stop because they can't move until I'm on them to get to the 5th floor. So you could be leading an organizing floor that could lead to the 58th mayor 23 years and 7 months from now. So thank you for having the Ohana floor. It really speaks to the creativity and the philanthropic spirit that's so necessary. You're doing the job of creation, economic assets that we need to sustain our economy. You're caring, you're devoted, and most importantly, you're a neighbor. You know, I'll close with this. There was a question that was asked during the biblical times, who is my neighbor? And today, this incredible operation is establishing who our neighbors really are. Whether you're a Jewish, Muslim, you know, whether you're in the Austin neighborhood, or if you live somewhere else in the city, we're each other's neighbors. And thank you for cementing your place in Chicago with this new space. And thank you for the lasting commitment that you have to this great city. And I wish you all many success in the decades to come. Thank you, and may God bless the city of Chicago.
Well, I didn't know when I signed up to do this I would have to follow you, so I'll rethink that assignment the next time. Just to keep us moving right along, obviously that's music to my ears living here in Chicago and sharing this space with all the Chicagoans and bringing that energy that is Salesforce to Chicago. I'm telling you all, this is going to be absolutely amazing. But none of it happens without an amazing real estate team that puts all of this together. It was only 5 years ago we were breaking ground across the street and watching this building begin. So with that, Relena, would you join us, please, and share a bit about what you do and what you've done to make this all happen here in Chicago? Thanks.
Maybe it is stuck. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Amazing to be here. Welcome. I want to start with that. This is an incredibly exciting milestone for us and my team. So I first want to start with a thank you. This tower, the last 5.5 years, it's been built during the pandemic. It's been a real labor of love. And the leadership team and the real estate teams, many teams have come together. We've had the city's support. This doesn't happen magically. So I really want to start with a genuine thank you. My name is Relena Bulchandani. I lead the real estate and workplace services organization at Salesforce. And my team is laser focused on making sure we have the right space at the right time for business success. We are a learning organization. We spent a lot of time learning post-pandemic, how do employees want to work? How do we host customers? How are we good members of the community? And this is what this tower is. It's really showing up in this tower. So I first want to start with our real estate is not real estate. It's really an expression of our values. We heard so much about values today from everyone that came before me. And you will see this as you experience the space. It's welcoming, it's open to all. And we really thought about this tower from employee choice, flexibility, and accessibility. So this is our most accessible tower. We wanted to make sure our spaces work for everyone. They work for neurodiverse employees as well. And what we've done with our social lounges, we learned in the pandemic, people are coming together for community. People are coming together to gather and connect with each other. So we've doubled our social lounges, the spaces. We have neighborhoods. We don't assign desks, but we assign neighborhoods to teams. We have focus pods for the folks that need to really go in and get focused and productive. We have quiet libraries where you can pop in. It's not noisy. So we've really been thoughtful about the design and employees having choices in this network of diverse spaces. So I first wanted to start because it's an incredibly proud moment where we really learned from the pandemic. And that's what Salesforce does well. We launch, we iterate, we prototype, and then we learn and bring it to the next tower. The next thing I'm really proud of is how sustainable this tower is. So number one, you're actually sitting in the most sustainable building in Chicago currently. So the building, and for those that don't know, sustainability is one of our key values. I talked a little about accessibility, employee choice, equality, and now I'm moving to sustainability. And this building is core and shell, LEED Gold certified. Our spaces are platinum certified. It's completely an electric building. So everything from our kitchens to our HVAC to our water cooling and heating is all electric. Now, this was a really interesting task for the team to get this right, but we were committed to it. And even from a sustainability perspective, we have really reduced our embodied carbon from the steel and the recycling that we've pursued. So sustainability, big part of our values. You're seeing it today. And again, we've talked about this and we've heard from all of you. It's about community. It's about connection. It's about culture. It's about co-creation, because that is the future. And you're sitting in it right now. So I want you to experience the space. I want to thank everyone for showing up today. And I want to hand back to you, Christina. Thank you.
Right. Well, I think the moment that I've been waiting for, and a lot of you have been waiting for a really long time, it is my pleasure, my honor, I can't believe this is happening, to officially open Salesforce Tower Chicago. So with that, Mayor Johnson, if you would join me, as well as Alderman Riley, Director Richards, where's, okay, and then you guys, Niles, Everly, or Sebastian. Geez, it's been a long morning. Sebastian, and we are going to cut the ribbon.
So hope everyone heard that of how you cut ribbons. Paying really close attention to the photo,
and we're going to cut from the bottom if we could. Yeah, so just hold from the photo. Down in front.
Down front, guys.
Looking right here at us down here.
1, 2, 3, go.
Woo!